The wait is over. I don't think a lot of us expected it to be that long a wait. And hey, it wasn't that long a wait. And candidly, didn't even feel like that long a wait. It still feels like the opening week of the season. But you know what? The wait is over. Konnor Griffin is coming up to the big leagues. Good morning and welcome to OffBeat here on North Shore 9, presented by FanDuel. My name is Alex Stumpf. This is a daily look at your Pittsburgh Pirates. Happy Friday. Happy Konnor Griffin Day. This is one of the most anticipated major league debuts in franchise history. This is up there with Paul Skenes in 2024 and nothing else, in my opinion. With respect to McCutcheon's debut in 09 and like Barry Bonds in 86, and there have been top prospects that have come through. You know, the Bubba Chandlers. There have been a lot of good prospects who have made their debut that people were anticipating, looking forward to. Paul Skenes' day was number one. I had the electricity of that day. This is number two. This is number two. This is the biggest debut for a hitter in franchise history. I've said a lot about Konnor Griffin already on this program. I imagine I'm going to say a lot about Konnor Griffin in the future of this program. I wrote about Konnor Griffin for Book Rule Books, my Substack, and in written form, I talked about how there really isn't a safety net, it feels like, for Konnor Griffin. That every time that, like an Oneil Cruz gets called up in 2022, it's like, well, there's still Kevin Newman at shortstop if he's not ready. Or whenever Henry Davis gets called up in 2023, well, let's put him in right field so we don't exploit the glove. Or when Jared Jones gets called up in 2024, it's like, yeah, but we got Roansy Contreras and Luis Ortiz in the bullpen just in case. Guys who were starters can keep going. There's a lot of ways to go through that. I don't really see that with Konnor Griffin. There are so many eggs in this basket. And in a way, I get it. I get it. Even though he is 19 years old, even though he is younger than the Xbox 360, a fact that made every bone in my body hurt whenever I discovered, what he brings is incredible. The potential that he brings is incredible. And I have to say potential because we still haven't seen it realized yet on a major league diamond, but we could. He's got this explosiveness, and there's no other word for me to describe it as. It's explosive. The way that he is able to take that first step, either out of the batter's box to try to beat out an infield hit, or in the field to get a ball in the hole or make a charge on a ball. There's just a level of first frame go with his game that is a big reason why he is the number one prospect in baseball. Yes, the hitting tool, the arm, everything that he has, the speed, it all gets that, but it's really the first step for me. It just the amount of areas that he can use that explosiveness, and that's fun to see from a teenager who 2 years ago was in high school and now is going to be in the major leagues. He has such a high ceiling, and the Pirates need it, especially on the left side of the infield. Because with respect to Jared Triolo, he's a fine baseball player. He is a solid one. If he's a starter, I don't think you think really twice about it. But I don't know how many games he's going to win for you by himself. He can contribute to wins all the time. Great glove, Gold Glover. Offense is streaky, but whenever he's hot, he shows he can really impact the baseball. But I just don't see him winning games for you by himself that often. Konnor could. And I have to say could or can or whatever way you want to do it. Like, not guaranteed, because, again, he is 19 years old. He does not know a world without the Pixar film Cars in it. But he... I promise that's the last one. That's the last one. I can't do that the entire time. I will feel like I'm 76 years old by the end of this podcast. He has that ability to just win a baseball game, either in the field or on the bases or at the bat. And the Pirates need that. They don't have that on the left side of the infield. They only have a couple guys on the hitting side that really have that. Like Oneil Cruz has that. You can make a case that maybe Lauer or Hearn have that, but I see them more as like really good hitters than guys who could just throw the team on the back and go. Griffin has that quality about him. That's why there has been discussions of a long-term deal. It's why, based off of what I heard from sources this winter and in spring training, I think a long-term deal will come together. And that's good for him. If that deal does come together, he becomes the most important player in franchise. There is nobody who is more important to the Pirates than Konnor Griffin, because it will be the biggest contract in franchise history of the number one, and it will be the number one prospect. For this team to be good moving forward for years to come, he can't be a bum. He's going to have to be part of that winning culture, that winning team, that winning performance. Can he? Sure. And even though I said, I wrote maybe a bit of a pessimistic take on Book Roll Bucks about how there is no real safety net for him and how he has to succeed, or I don't see them having that impact player, and maybe it impacts the team negatively. Maybe it impacts his development negatively. But you know what? They kind of made their bed this offseason. They could have signed a Suarez. They could have signed a mid-tier free agent and felt good about the left side of the infield, with Jared Triolo being half of the equation and an outside addition being the other half. Didn't end up happening. So this is the path they're taking. They are counting on Konnor Griffin to be an impact player out of the gate. And he could struggle. He could succeed. We're going to see. I laid out some red flags in spring training. I've written about Konnor Griffin a lot. I will talk about Konnor Griffin a lot. I talked about the fastballs a lot, how he didn't hit him in spring. He hit him in Indianapolis, but let's be real here. Nobody looked at a week's worth of data in Indianapolis and were like, oh, now he's a big leaguer. Call him up. No, this was always, at least it seems like it was always part of the plan. It's come to be realized. He is going to be part of this team for years to come. And I know those red flags I laid out, and we'll see how justifiable some of them are. I think there is going to be some growing pains that he's going to have at the major league level. Development continues at the major league level, and he is going to have to keep developing at the major league level. But the Pirates also need to win this year, and that means they're going to need Konnor Griffin to make an impact. We'll see you guys here in about a minute and a half.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack hydration sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. The Ultimate Sampler Pack is a great way for you to try all IQ Bar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. All IQ Bar products are clean label certified and entirely free from gluten, dairy, soy, GMOs, and artificial ingredients. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. The Ultimate Sampler Pack includes all 3. My personal favorites so far have been the almond butter chip and the iced tea lemonade hydration mix. It's just really full of flavor. I love starting my day with it, and I couldn't imagine starting my day with anything else other than IQ Bar products. Right now, IQ Bar is offering our podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the Ultimate Sampler Pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text MLB to 64,000. That's MLB 64000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details.
Could you imagine if Konnor Griffin does prove to be that impact player? What that means to this organization for years to come? Like, the thing that's most exciting about it, you could say, is Konnor Griffin and Paul Skenes on the same team for a couple years. That is a potential Draybeck Bonds, maybe reversed in terms of like the actual talent of where they are right now, where, Skenes is higher than Draybeck was. He'd be more of the Bonds, and Griffin would be the potential award winner, the great guy, but the Dre Beck in that situation, flip him. But like, that's what the Pirates had the last time they were winning division titles, the last time they were going to championship series, the last time they were flirting with the world championship. They have that potentially here now. It does involve Konnor Griffin making an impact and making an impact soon. Because there are pieces of this team that are in place. I think the starting rotation is basically in place. Not saying that they can't be further bolstered, but whenever you bring back someone like Jared Jones and some of the other prospects that they have in the minors, like the rotation is in its spot. I think the right side of the infield is in its spot, at least right now. Right side of the diamond. They don't have that real impact player on the left-hand side. And I keep saying that word impact because that's what he can do. He can impact the baseball. He can impact the base running game. He can impact the infield defense. I talked about in my list of reasons why the Pirates couldn't make the playoffs this year. Like, they just have those guys who are him. This is someone who could be him. They need Konnor Griffin to be him. And it's a lot to throw at the feet of a 19-year-old. You know, also is a lot to throw at the feet of a 19-year-old, a potential record-setting contract. Seems like the Pirates are willing to do that. I think 5 years from now, we're going to look back on these 2026 Pirates and we are going to have a very strong reaction one way or the other. I don't see a lot of scenarios where 2026 goes off the rails, but 2027 turns out great and smooth and everyone's happy. I could see 2026 maybe being the start of a new window. I could also see it kind of being the reason why maybe this team never came together. This is a very important year. This is a very important player towards that. Now, with that said, I predicted at the start of the year on my Substack that Bubba Chandler was more likely to be Rookie of the Year. He was my Rookie of the Year pick just because I've seen him more. There's less variable there. There is less of that doubt of here is a 19-year-old who has never done this at the major leagues and only has 5 games of AAA experience and 21 games of AA experience. It's a lot safer of a bet out of it. I get it. This is a really strong rookie class. No guarantee he's going to be like a Rookie of the Year or the Pirates to get the PPI draft pick. Now, he could be an MVP, top 3 finisher before hitting arbitration, and that changes things. But, at least for now, he's not. Could be. Pirates need him to be. There's a lot of eggs in this basket because if he doesn't work out, I don't know if you can go back to a Nick Gonzalez or a Nick York. I don't know how much you can let him struggle up at the big leagues if he's really just out here flailing. Like, I don't expect him to, but it's always a possibility. Did we say this about Jackson Holliday? He needed extra time. There's a lot of times where a top prospect just needs extra time. It's a tough adjustment. This is the greatest talent in the world. And this guy was facing high school pitching, 23 months ago. It is what it is. So we're going to see. This is going to be one of the most anticipated debuts in franchise history, and justifiably so. Personally, I am looking forward to it. I think he is as advertised. And we are going to see what that looks like at a major league field very soon. Thank you so much for listening this week to Offbeat here on North Shore 9 presented by FanDuel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe wherever you find fine podcasts or on YouTube if you'd like to see the video version. Thank you so much for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.